bandits from House Will, which went interesting. I also got wounded, so Alaric got triple wounded, I think.
Triple wounded, yes.
Eventually we managed to kill them, and as we looked them over, Briyenn recognised one of them, and we found evidence. Definitely think, yeah, these were from House Will. One of them apparently being the heir to House Will. At which point we returned with the captives, and we rested for a bit. Briyenn going on tons of milk with a poppy before heading to have a nice meal with Loaf and Rosette. Of which, after some discussion, we did not do the marriage we were originally intending. Instead, however, the short answer for it was Laenys and Rosette are to marry, and we are to convince our lord to press charges against House Will after what they did to Briyenn, so that Ironwood can claim stewardship over their land and take control of the Boneway, giving us a powerful ally and getting rid of a lot of bandits. And I think we're starting this time for a wedding, unless I've missed anything particular.
Yes, but first, it has been a week of time here. Most have been just dealing with their wounds. Before I ask what your characters have been sort of doing, or what the others would have seen you be doing anyway, I will tell you a little bit more, because the first thing that happened was that there was a snake feast, naturally. It is a great celebration of the snake hunt, where all the snakes are boiled in a big pot, and then everyone is sort of served a thick broth with the now sort of boiled white pieces of snake that has been sort of cut up in it, with some different, probably to all of you unknown, other vegetables of some sort. Then you sip up the broth with bread and eat the very fine snake meat, or white meat. Regardless, it was also said by who had caught how many snakes, and well, applause and pats on the back were given to those who had done it. Nima was the person who was celebrated the most, because he had caught, the most, really, of anyone, and not even taken any wounds to boot. Bree, after a tale from Rosette, was also celebrated for her, early start at snake hunting, and her tenacity. Alaric had mentions, and so did a few of the Dornish people, certainly also. This fair is generally friendly chit-chat, not a whole lot. There's a flute player here, playing his flute. Beyond that, the event passed without any major sort of goings-on. So, what has the rest of your characters, all of your characters, been doing for the week, up until the wedding is supposed to take place?
I guess I will answer that first. You've been able to see Laenys around short bits, for example, possibly up on the wall with Rosette speaking out, or at one point you may have even caught a glimpse of him going outside of the castle's area with Rosette on horseback. Though what exactly happened is not entirely known. Other than that, he's been resting around the place and getting the maester to patch him up every now and again. Clean the wound.
Mm-hmm. Well, as far as anyone
has seen Dessem around. He has been walking the parapets, looking out over the landscape, maybe speaking to a few people. Nothing too serious what we've seen, though. Mostly he has been in his room, presumably painting. And as there is a fantastical wedding feast coming for his dear nephew, there is a conspicuous big painting shaped object in the great hall, possibly waiting to be unveiled. Yep.
Regret.
You didn't hear me say uh-oh.
No, we did in the far back through Manaki.
Sorry. Because your wife is not here, so I'm a little nervous.
Dessem has concentrated very hard.
Oh, okay. Hey, I trust you.
Mm-hmm. So that's it.
Alaric has done absolutely nothing and has rested. Pretty much it.
Nima's been training, spending a lot of time in the very nice, I forgot, date olive garden, drinking wine, talking with different type of people, and maybe tasted a Dornishman's wife or two. Hey. And been training with Bree when she was ready for it. Because for some reason Bree seemed to want to train. I wonder why.
Bree wanted to get out and at least do something after having her milk of the poppy forcibly taken away from her. That wasn't so fun anymore.
You're there.
All right then. Yeah, we go. We'll change our view to the sept of Winewood. Have you wished for Laenys and Rosette to go first? That probably would be proper.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, then they will be going first. It's the sort of main couple.
Well then. Alice is definitely looking a little bit nervous beforehand.
Mm-hmm. What's happening over here? The sept is nice. It looks very old. The sept of Winewood is sort of down from the actual keep, not really within the walls at all, by the small sort of community that is here. You'll certainly, even just over here, that the sept is from the time where the people of Winewood were kings. And it hasn't really changed a whole lot since then. Once kings and queens of, well, most of Dawn were married here. The septon has come here. Has come here from the lands of the Jordanes. They have a lot of scriptures and such. Winewood doesn't keep their own sort of prestigious Dornish scepter here. They have one, but he's not. They wanted a name on it, even though it's a name that means absolutely nothing to you. Perhaps the Dornish have some sort of meaning with it. You're generally sort of asked to go in. There will not be really a betting or anything. That sort of thing will be handled when you're home. It didn't seem like a good idea to, or at least Lothan has requested that you, as politely as possible, that you should probably leave as soon as possible. After the wedding. Although they have been given a shared bedroom for whatever many nights you might want to stay here before actually going anywhere. When you go to the moment where they are sort of, well, as with everyone standing in the sept sort of to the sides, there is some prayer, and then the question is who will lead Laenys in. Generally, he will walk in with his sort of father or guardian or whoever has the authority really to make this happen. His first witness. She will be led in by whoever has the authority over her, which is different in Dorne because she can, well, do it herself if she wishes. But in this case, Lothen will do it.
I think Dessem would probably be the most suited. Either Dessem or Alaric, if Dessem particularly dislikes the idea.
I don't know. If you're going to present the same argument that Rosette can lead herself, Laenys can lead himself, right?
It's a
Sure.
Dornish tradition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a
Go.
Dornish tradition.
Lioness, you can do it.
If he wants to
They are certainly trying to show you respect by having Lothen do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dessem is perfectly fine with doing it.
It's also up to Laenys. So
I mean, if Dessem would be interested.
I mean, it's tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Dessem
there's
is
no-
enough
and
tradition.
it is such a symbol of good faith from our hosts. It would be impolite not to take them up on it. So yeah.
All right then. You have been given sort of a choice of different garb if you wish to have something. I don't think you really brought
No.
super amazing clothes with you.
No, I did not.
Rosette certainly is in her finest. Generally, this can be expected.
I'll be whatever finery I can, if they're willing to loan for it.
Well, the finest that they have. Then,
I expect so.
in that case, very Dornish garb for the wedding guests as well. It seems. Sure.
It was a good symbol of good faith to them as well.
You'll then be walked to the sort of altar, the little pad up there in front of the seven-pointed star, and then Rosette will be brought in. You have been fashioned with on your shoulders a very heavy cloak, with House Caladan's sort of sigil, in as good a shape as people who have never sort of sewn it before could sew it in a week. It is a symbolic gesture, as you're supposed to put it around her shoulders as she sort of, well, to put her under your protection, basically, as she gets up there.
Mm-hmm.
Lothen walks up the small stairs and basically bows to you and steps back a little bit. She curtsies, a little awkwardly, not the motion she's used to doing a lot, and she has a hard time to sort of not grin at the absurdity of the situation.
Oh, we haven't even got to the betting yet, lady. That'll be absurd.
As she sort of curtsies to you and turns her back, kneels down a little bit.
I will step close and wrap the cloak around her, bring her into my protection.
And she turns around, takes her hands. Seemingly, she has been told what to do. I don't know if don't think anyone's told you a whole lot.
I probably know enough.
Yeah, you probably know.
Probably not the first wedding you've seen. Maybe.
He was
Yeah,
like, "What the
I
fuck is
don't know
this?"
actually.
I would have asked if Lan
Yeah.
no. So.
Yeah. The Septon, an old man, he's sort of tall hat. Not even in Dorne are septas, female septons, very often the high septons. They generally have duties that are more referred to in the as to cleaning the bodies of the dead and such, while the male priests take care of the living. The seven are an Andal faith, after all. So they certainly have no problem with gender bias. The old Septon looks at you, says, "In the sight of the seven, I hereby seal these two souls He names your names, giving you just as Laenys of House Caladan, while Rosette of House Winewood also gets added the Blood Royal to her title. Binding them as one for eternity. Look upon one another and say the words. Do you want to read them up, Dark?
Father, smith, warrior, mother, maiden, crone, stranger. I am hers and she is mine, from this day until the end of my days.
She repeats says the line in sort of with you. Yeah. And then you turn to the crowd who gets to see upon you. All witnesses to that this has been done. Yeah. Scepter bows. And then the time has come where you're allowed to lift her veil and give her a kiss.
Man shall nervously do her such.
Huh? Sure. She accepts it gracefully.
Craven roll! Craven roll!
I don't think it's not be a fearful situation.
Run screaming from the sept.
Aww.
Quick one on the cheek.
Well, this is awkward.
Alaric screams from the row.
Craven!
If there be any who oppose this, I
Alaric shouts from the row, "Oh, Snogger, for crying out loud!"
But given the time they have spent together, I'm gonna say that that's probably not necessary.
Alaric cries out, "Fuck it, I'll marry her!"
Just steps up there.
You know,
Let's go.
It's true. Laenys and Rosette have spent enough time together where they're slightly at least not that uncomfortable.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah, and then basically you will walk down the aisle here, and you're generally supposed to go to prepare the feast that will be. There is one. It's not really that great.
Did we get our specific Caladan marriage tradition thing arranged? The burning archway.
Sure. Why don't you tell me about it?
Sure. You know, it is a tradition that has been in the family since the founding of the house, and it symbolizes the wreathed in flames motto of the house. We have a more elaborate ceremony of this at least once a year back home, basically, and we also do certain variations of it on big occasions such as weddings. It is normally made for the people that are the target of the occasion to walk in a archway that has been set aflame. Sort of they walk through the archway as one person, and then they emerge from the other side as another. Perhaps in a marriage, two souls are joined, or perhaps as they come of age, they go from childhood into adulthood in this way, and then they step out from one life and into another, wreathed in flames.
Sure. Outside the sept, there has been set up sort of a long arch.
Mm-hmm.
That is now then sort of. I suppose Lothan will have a torch, and I suppose Alaric would be the person to also have one to sort of light either side.
Yep.
As they leave the sept, supposed to walk under it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I imagine the flames taking hold and rising high above the archway. Very dry wood.
Very dry.
Yeah.
As they walk through,
Mm-hmm.
sort of bowing her head down a little bit, not wanting to get her hair in the fire.
Laenys is actually far more comfortable with this because the heat doesn't really bother him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not afraid of fire.
He's not.
The only thing I'm not afraid of.
Yes.
And as they emerge from the other side, I imagine there are jubilation, particularly from the Caladanian entourage. You know, seen this ceremony before, whoops and hurrahs and stuff going up from that crowd.
And a little bit after, 2 other people come out as well, which would be Lady Nalia and Sir Ryman.
Yay!
Woo! Also been married and go with the same tradition, although after the others.
Could at least bring his token out. He
Sure.
hasn't been here since he got wounded.
It was a very bad wound. You don't want to see his face.
Oh. I didn't even know it was his face.
That's a good. That's a good point about injuries and such. We've been here a week, haven't we?
Well, you know,
Next step. Next step.
wedding ceremony!
You certainly, after this, can sort of walk. Rosette certainly wants to wait for the 2 others as well, being courteous like that. Walk to the, being at the front of the entourage, sort of walking to back to the castle, where a large, the sort of the great hall has been prepared with food and wine, plenty for everyone. There's not as many guests that you would sort of generally have. Certainly are enough. Catelyn looks a bit, almost like she's a bit alone now.
Oh, there, Catelyn. We'll get you hooked. Don't
Sir
worry.
Alaric, help him.
Also,
No.
Bree, you should probably be down at the ceremony.
Yes. We
They're
should
in
have.
family, though, those 2.
Everett is back, although he's still wearing a large bandage sort of over his shoulder,
You can sit next to your papa if you want.
and winces whenever he has to use the arm, although he tries bravely to
I'll sit
not
next to
do
him.
anything.
I see you controlling my body, Jonas.
Yeah, no. If there was, you are going to be present at your brother's wedding. That is.
If you didn't, I would actually give you an automatic -1 disposition.
Actually, it's not. I can't wait for that. Yeah, I guess also at the
Oh god.
at the feast
It's
as
so crowded.
Oh no,
Come
it's so
on.
crowded.
Loaf and scoop over.
Really? We're gonna have Laenys next to
Apparently.
Blackmont? Oh,
Arg.
well.
Well, if ever a time Laenys is about to die, this would be it.
I have destiny.
It's fine. Lady Blackmont
Well,
is.
I have Loaf
She's not
as
crazy.
my... I don't know what it's called. My table person. So Lofen.
Your table person?
Your table
Yeah.
person? What?
There is a Danish word for it, but I don't know the English one of it. If you
Oh.
have, it's yeah. One day I'll probably find it.
Oh, well, keep us posted.
Okay,
Sure.
I'll see if
Post it
I'll see if
Google
there's
Translate.
I don't
Google
think you need to be this
Translate.
damn anal about like the token positioning here at this damn
I
table.
know. I know.
It doesn't work anyway because Alaric's bigger than all the rest.
I know.
It's elbow room.
Ah.
As the feasting historian and stuff, I imagine do people hold like small speeches and stuff at these?
They can, though you have no idea really if the Dorniers do that sort of thing.
Well,
It's generally dependent on what
They-
family. Most often, it will be some uncle or something who stands up and is super brawdy about something because he got too drunk. That sort of
Uncle, get drunk.
thing will happen.
well, Alaric,
there is
I
no
think-
real name for it. All it says is table companion.
Okay. I think the drunken and bawdy is certainly Alaric's part, but Dessem will get up. He'll tap the cane and get silence, and he will hold a short speech as he walks up to the covered painting, and he will basically say that he is very happy for the young couples, both of them, of course. And that he wishes them all the good in the kingdoms, and may the unions be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. The usual friendly
Pleasantries.
niceties. Yeah, the usual friendly pleasantries. I can do a roll for it, but he's trying to be as eloquent and as friendly as he possibly can. And then he will, with a dramatic tap of the cane, signal one of the servants or something to unveil the painting that he, with this, has gifted Laenys and Rosetta. And I'll draw the picture out here, so you can hopefully take a look at it and size it up.
What the fuck?
The painting is called Iron and Flame.
What the fuck, Jonas? Where did you find this?
The actual painting is The Marriage Proposal by Ross Docken. But yeah.
It may have had modifications to add, for example, a skull.
Also,
Did you add that
notice
skull?
notice the Dornish clothes on both of the young, lovely people.
Silver hair.
Silver hair, yes.
Yeah.
It was a pain in the
You
butt
add
to edit.
that? Why did you put a skull on his face? That's
Because
creepy.
it's Dessem.
What? It's Dessem's
You
painting. He
didn't
has
notice
tried. He has
It wasn't
tried.
creepy enough.
He tried so hard.
Okay,
He has tried so. And it is a beautiful painting.
Just
Ignore the skull.
He
I
does.
mean, clearly that's like chin hair there, right? It's not actually like...
No, there's no skull. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my! You could have added a skull in that or here.
So, yeah,
or...
congratulations, nephew. This will, may this painting follow you through your life.
I shall courteously accept.
Or be stashed away
Looking
in
curiously to see what Rosette's reaction to this actually is.
She smiles very politely.
She hasn't noticed the skull yet.
Well, if it doesn't follow you through life, it will follow you through your nightmares.
I've already got enough of those. It's fine. I'll courteously accept the painting. Thanking his uncle.
Dessem seems happy.
Indeed.
Now, Jonas, what
Yes?
about the artwork for the other married couple, or have they infringed too much on Dessem's? Like,
There has
your
been
fucking
no.
gift is.
Yeah, no. They. It's time for them to give back at this point. So there's no painting for
You're
them.
giving
I
an
only
heir?
had a week. Damn it.
Your gift is being here.
Yeah, exactly. You be happy with that.
Thank you very much for this lovely trip down and up the Boneway.
Your gift is true love, motherfuckers. So don't.
You know,
bother.
they don't complain about not having been given enough. That would be
They
very,
shouldn't.
very
That
audacious.
is. Yeah, that is very wise of them not to.
Look at that bird off the table.
Where's our painting? Not quite any of that. Catelyn looks a little bit like jealous, but she will engage Dessem in talks about when you get back to the Reach, if you will visit Highgarden sometime.
Oh, maybe. There'll be more festivities as we get back. No, definitely.
A tourney. They should have a tourney. She would love
Well,
to see.
Oh yes, well, Dessem will say that a tourney might, very well, to celebrate all of these fantastic things that have happened. A tourney might not be impossible. We'll see. We'll look into it once we get back.
She gets very excited at the idea that it has been confirmed that there is gonna be a tourney.
Of course she is.
She's very excitable. Lady Tessa will congratulate the couples. But other than that, she doesn't engage anyone particularly in a lot of talking.
She enjoys the food, right? Basically.
Yeah. She's probably going to stay here for a little bit after you leave you, and whatever business she might have can be done then. And that the wedding feast goes as it does. And in Dorne, the wedding ceremony is different. Generally, the couple would sort of disappear along the evening.
Oh, they don't
Go
get
to
carried
bed.
away.
That is certainly how they do it in the Reach. Yes, it is a
Well, yeah.
But we were,
and enjoyed tradition.
but we were
A
asked.
Dornish woman may stab you in the eye if you try to undress her while pulling her to her.
Yeah, we will respect Dornish tradition.
What?
Alaric will just look around at one point of the
Well,
night, just
you,
looks sad.
It's not as it's
start
not a- I mean,
getting up, like you
You
see
know,
his,
Nima and
his
Sir Alaric
hands
gets
open and
up and like,
closing.
yes.
Just
Like,
get up,
God
like
damn it!
looking at her.
What kind of
Well,
place
it's
is
about
this?"
time to, and then like Dessem like you pokes him with a stab with his cane, like no. but
He just
Nima
sits
and
down
Sir
like,
Alaric-
oh.
Nima and Sir Alaric are very
when he
sad.
does, Lady Tessa's eyes certainly shoot lightning at him. It's audacious and sort of crazy behavior.
It's tradition. God,
It's
lighten
my
up.
favorite part.
You know what? We'll do it once we get home, alright?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to do it to those two. They're both reach.
Oh, no, no.
I'll take the man.
I mean,
It's weird with the
we
girl.
need it confirmed that the marriage has been consummated, you know, that's...
Are we gonna stand outside the door at least?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So weird.
No,
just,
so
like-
get a crossbow when I get back and point it.
You'll just walk past like their room and you'll just see Alaric and Dessem pressed up against the door. listening.
Hey, what about Nina?
I know you're out there. I have enough awareness.
You won't be there soon.
That doesn't make it
Alaric
better,
shouts
Dark.
back, get on with it!
Like,
Oh. Oh, Alaric.
we're not home yet. It's fine.
Ah,
Others have it.
you love him.
But assuming everything, nothing really. I mean, no one tries to assassinate you. There's no sudden death or.
None of us are poisoned in this.
The wedding is a pleasant affair, and you certainly can just slip away at some point or another. There's enough alcohol that Alaric probably, even he gets enough to feel it, and well.
Hasn't been since High Garden.
I'm sorry.
They don't seem to get a whole lot of guests here, as it turns out. So
What? No one to get to go with you to bed? No one? No one's willing? Be pretty sweet.
wouldn't be Dawn's tradition if you actually discovered that they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
That would mean the food and alcohol isn't plenty enough.
Oh. I meant the women sure. Or men.
Spend a destiny point for the wedding night.
Burn
Oh,
it.
I'll spend that.
Burn
business
it.
point.
Burn it.
This wedding night
just-
will have big
It's just
story
ecstatic
complications.
war at some point. You're like, huh, well, that went well, I guess.
Nima will use a destiny point on Lothan. Let's go.
Don't need to worry.
Oh, Lothan. Well,
Well, Nima.
Regardless. Does anyone have anything else they want to do during the wedding? Anyone they want to talk to or anything?
I just said Lothan.
I think
Nima tries to bed Lothan. There we go.
He leaves the wedding early.
Damn it, I'll follow him.
Please don't
Just
follow.
follow him like a.
Okay, I won't.
You can be stealthy about it or not be stealthy
I
about
can
it.
be stealthy about it.
He certainly isn't stealthy about his own thing. He just sort of
Are you-
has a little bit of wine, then he goes off to do whatever he does.
Did Nima just like veil herself and skulk off in the night?
No,
Someone
didn't
asked for
see-
someone to get killed? Like,
you didn't see anything.
Lady Tessa stays and drinks modestly.
Okay, fine, I'll go
Is
for her.
a bore. She isn't. She doesn't seem super fun to be around right now.
Well, Nima will talk with her.
Still
and
doesn't trust you, seemingly. Sure, we're
That's
gonna
fine.
talk
No
to
one
her.
should trust an assassin.
I suppose potentially, just you guys might not notice Laenys and Rosette later on.
I noticed.
Not once you're drunk enough.
Oh yeah. Well, if Niva's drunk enough, she is gonna go for Lady Tessa.
Way.
Oh boy! Any advance is harshly rebuked.
She doesn't want anything from you. You can't try and check her.
Well, you will use the card that I saw you're looking.
And
Dessem is gonna roll his eyes and like mouth over to Tessa. Braavosi.
she looks at him with a surprised and slightly disgusted face at what she thought he was mouthing. And
Oh my!
regardless, as I said, the wedding is generally a pleasant affair. And well, how many days do you plan to stay after it? One, perhaps, to clear out the headaches, but
Probably.
But after that, we're gonna get a move on.
Yeah.
One day.
Bree finds the hidden stash of milk of the puppy.
I hope not.
before
I know what I'm spending the destiny point on.
Milk of the puppy.
I'll burn it to get the addict and like enough fulfillment to last me forever. Probably milk. Yeah. Lothan will certainly want to talk to Dessem. He is sussed out. Seems to be the true person you talk to.
He
Sure.
wants to talk to me.
You don't really want to talk to him either. You just want to sleep. But
One of the days here after the wedding. Or,
Sure.
well, probably the day after the wedding, assuming you aren't too drunk to have.
No, Dessem doesn't get too drunk these days.
Well, he will pose the question of when you think that you will move. If
Well,
this plan is to work the best, then we would presumably try to attack them at the same time.
well, I mean, we need to gather our forces, and we still have a somewhat of a home defense problem, so we can't really empty all of our forces at once. We probably, and this is something I guess I'll pose the question to the party as well, we probably want mercenaries maybe? Because we don't have that many troops, all things considered.
I tend to agree on the mercenary side. After discussing the whole warfare thing with Manaki, it seems pertinent that a couple green, maybe, yeah, a couple green mercenaries would be good. If we can afford it, of course, we need the wealth to be able to afford mercenaries. But just emptying our garrison out of our castle seemed like a bad idea, generally. But mercenaries are pretty good.
How quickly can we get mercenaries? Is there a mechanical time frame to get mercenaries, or?
I haven't seen any, personally. I don't know if Manaki has.
You could, these days around, depends of course how well trained you'd want them, but you could get like green ones with relative ease. Shouldn't be too difficult to acquire.
Might be a few mercenary captains hanging around the area, you know, with the border as it is.
Yeah, sort of, you know, there's a lot of things going on, and the people have certainly been hiring, mostly discreetly, but yeah.
Of course, we need the wealth to actually be able to do this, because I don't think we have any spare wealth at the moment.
We do have a pile of gold dragons, presumably, depending on how much of that we wanted to.
How many gold dragons did we get?
Well,
200.
One
That you could not
That's just one.
Mercenaries, as far as I understand, add a +1 to the power cost, which is entirely wealth. So whatever mercenary thing that you want ends up having an extra cost associated with it.
Mercenaries cost you wealth instead of power. And
Yeah.
they cost you
Yes,
+1
yes,
on
that's
top
what
of
I
they
said.
cost,
But
yeah. So greens would be 2 wealth. Train
Yes,
4,
yeah,
etc.
green mercenaries would be 2 wealth.
Yeah.
If I were to give an opinion on it, I would rather take the engineers and archers and leave the garrison behind and use the mercenaries for that front, as the garrison, if they leave our lands, it becomes more difficult to discipline.
That was my original thinking as well.
okay. Let's take a look at the house chart.
It's page 111 for unit times.
Yes, and our house page has a garrison unit, an archer unit, an engineer unit, and a scout unit. Each of those comprises of 100 men.
Yeah.
Scouts are not good at combat.
I would suggest taking the rangers, engineers, and scouts and leaving the garrison at home, because the scouts, from what I've read, can be extremely useful. Like extremely useful, and the engineers are scary.
You're going to want an
in some
entire unit with
situations.
4 awareness in an unfamiliar environment where people are known to hide and throw rabid dogs at you.
Exactly. So they're going to be super useful.
And then we probably want to hire some sort of block of like infantry or something that can actually like make up the bulk of the fighting, because the engineers and scout are not really straight up fighters.
Hence the mercenaries, yeah.
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 Problem with that is, what kind of average do you have on a warfare skill check, Halldamir?
Let me just check what that would be actually. 4 times 4 is 16, 17.
So, like, an average discipline check for green mercenaries would be discipline 12, and that would be just with basic maneuvers.
Well, we're not doing any advanced stuff anyway, so...
Well, that would just be, like, you can still, like, give them orders, like, with just, like... There's still, like, orders that are not in, like, labeled super cool, awesome advanced. There's more than just kiss face with enemy.
I know, but it's generally for the simple rules.
Alright.
Discipline only changes when you're giving numerous orders in one round.
Right. At any rate, and the 20 experience points allows you to raise an ability 1 rank, which would allow you to take their fighting skill from 2 to 3.
Yep.
Or endurance, if you wanted to.
Yes, they still have pretty endurance, though.
Yeah.
You'd want the something that.
That is a, however, until you know how many wealth points you actually have to play around with, it is impossible to make a ruling.
Something, yeah.
In that case, we need to. We have been out.
You know, you have at least 2. So.
Well, we're out traveling for quite a bit now. When we get home, the month will probably have been up and then some, right?
Let's see here. Well, of course depends on how fast you'll be, but probably yeah.
Yeah. So we will get the stewardship roles when we get back.
Oh yeah, it definitely will. Looking at this,
we only know a minimum of 2 though from that.
Yeah, it's a minimum of 2, maximum of 6.
But that then theoretically will be that we get home, we gather our forces, we hire at least a block of mercenaries, and then we basically set off, right?
Yep.
Unless we want to like hang around and try to recruit more, but time is of the essence, so that seems.
Yep. In which case, I'd probably say something like from leaving, it takes like what was it, 2 weeks? It took us 2 weeks to get here, or just shy of.
a little more than 2
A
weeks.
little more than 2 weeks. So call it a week to go from our keep to House Will, and so probably about 3 to 4 weeks.
It'll be definitely be longer than a week. Whenever we traveled from House Caladan to the River Will, we did so with a small group. Whenever we're moving through the Badlands, again, we're going to be having several hundred men. Or you're going to be having several hundred men.
I mean, that does kind of slow us down quite a bit. It mainly affects our ability to bring siege weapons. It'll basically eliminate the possibility.
Presumably building that there, you know.
With what materials?
That's the problem.
I don't know. What materials do we have?
There's nothing at House Will, I don't think. They live on basically just...
It's one of the issues with attacking Dawn is that you can't build siege weapons when you get there because there's not a lot of wood. We have the engineers, but we don't have the people. We don't have the supplies.
Basically, like, need engineers, like, sap the walls.
Pretty much.
But the problem is, sapping's an advanced order.
Oh no, our engineers are useless.
But, I mean, can't you do it with...
No,
like,
they're actually pretty good outside of that.
Well,
I mean, in that case, it's going to take us a bit.
It's
Takes
going
at
to
least
take
2 weeks to
time.
get back. And then, well, how long?
Well, we're not trying to take the damn castle itself, anyway.
Which we're trying to stir up enough trouble.
We're pretty
I mean,
much taking...
unless we are trying to take the actual damn castle.
I mean, we
I
can
think
take the
that
castle and then tell House Ironwood, we got the castle.
And that's when the king leans down and says, "Tell me more."
The king will then kick our butts because we're not allowed to steal
why
Dornish
did you
land.
invade Dawn?
I felt like it.
We're not allowed to steal Dornish land.
It
We're
was
just not.
we could. I mean, yeah.
I
mean,
burn
we
a
can take the
destiny
castle
point
and then
to
just get
defeat
under
the
it.
king in an intrigue.
That
would be a complex intrigue because you need to beat like 4.
And then the king is like, well, I guess that's perfectly all right then.
Like, I have more than 3 status on you.
Well, but I have the blood of the wildmen running through my veins, so you can't automatically compel me.
Wildling, so I don't care. Oh, that's your problem, really.
Wildling? Shit, we need to get you on the other side of the wall.
That's execution right there.
So a month, something like that.
A moon.
You will then send me. Just think a few days prior to your actual entering of their lands. A raven, or 3.
All the ravens we can.
Then we will move as well at the same time.
Okay.
Hopefully, the forces.
Would you take March of Raven?
Could Dessem also ask of Lothan to send a raven back to Winter's Respite, because he would like to send some instructions ahead of time. Yeah.
Sure.
Then he will do that. He will send the instructions to.
As most, it will not go directly there because they don't have a raven that goes there. Yeah.
It's a raven
That's when House Trant will intercept it, Jonas. I hope you're prepared for this.
I am totally prepared for it.
They generally sent them to Lockport and then on to other houses.
Yeah, mountains, no siege weapons. And I'd say House Will is near mountains.
It's not as if there's a convenient road leading straight from us to them.
Yeah, but there's like a whole House Selmy in the way.
If we only went to Summer Hall with our army.
Yeah.
Just invaded that keep first. It's not well defended anyway.
Can we even send ravens?
The king's laying there, relaxing. We fucking show the engineers, I have more than 3 status over you motherfuckers. We don't want anything from you in an intrigue. What? Blow up the castle.
Walk away.
We had to kill you, my lord. Oh. Well, that sucks.
This is awkward.
So Dark, if they send us a raven, then we can send one back. I don't think we have a raven that we can send outwards ourselves.
Alright, then he will send a raven to you in a moon. With placeholders. Or some such message.
If you look at the PM I sent you, Mike.
Because I don't think we don't have a maester who has capability of it.
No, I don't think we actually have ravens.
If we don't have an NPC and we don't have a PC who can do it, then no.
Yeah, so bit of an issue.
You'd have to send Kavalar.
He is smarter than the average.
Well, maybe when we get back, there might have been some gears turning while we were gone, and maybe there'll be birds.
Maybe.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the lord of the house will say, no, we're not doing this. And then we'll agree, because he is the lord of the house.
Damn it. All of our plans squandered by a crazy old man.
By the mandated by the 7 ruler of our family.
Who's also crazy and old.
Says the one who doesn't seem to listen to the authorities.
Well, maybe if the authority thought that the character was actually still alive instead of dead, maybe my character would listen to authority.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean there's rules, goddammit.
I'm pretty sure when you're dead, the rules don't apply to you.
That is not true.
In
this household, young lady.
If you're dead or you're alive,
no
there's
excuse.
fucking rules.
Exactly, death is no excuse. That's the new motto.
And remember, my son, death is no excuse.
That would be great to our warriors, though. Just get up on the hill and say, remember, death is no excuse.
Oh,
Wait,
yes,
what?
yeah.
That
I think that sounds
very,
inspiring, and then they look at each other and go, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's very much something they would say in the area where honor is like everything. And
That is
it's a crazy place. They don't frolic as much as in the Reach.
No.
Again, they live in a horrible, boring, wet mountains, so...
We're coming out of a horrible burning desert.
It's not much greater. Not much better.
And surrendering to conquering dragon riders by asking for a ride on the dragon, apparently.
Anyway, we're heading home.
Road trip.
Everyone says, and then remember where that road has to take you.
Oh, don't be such a Wimp.
Do we have our super coordinated archer still?
Yes.
Well, maybe.
-1.
Yeah. Has Alaric at least recovered from one of his wounds?
Yes, you can all remove a wound if you have one. Yeah.
Damn it, he didn't get 2
How
degrees.
it made you hang out long enough that it.
Are you saying you're only the strength of a normal man?
Yes. I'll only be able to roll a total of 3 die.
The best part is that we're immediately launching into a war situation. So like, motherfucker, goddamn, fucking red
I only need 2 weeks to recover from this. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
And Maester Cole is a
Maester
master
Cole
at the
and
healing.
his leeches.
Yeah, he'll leech
Man.
all the hell out of you. So
He
don't
will-
So
worry
what?
about
So
that.
what? You're just gonna
Dashes
you're gonna lay in bed in 2 weeks back home? No, you're not.
I'm going to survive this trip, and then Maester Cole is gonna save me. That's it. Right? We've got this down.
Imagine like a skull with tendrils of flesh hopping along the ground. I'm home.
At this point, I've got 3 dice for my endurance,
Maester Cole's like,
so I'm good.
need bigger leeches.
I need bigger leeches. Oh god.
And it's sent to
Knock
hike
his
him.
body back.
That's a leech as big as a cat. Well, yes.
Alright, I'm glad we're.
I
Something
attached this
Braavosi
leech
leeches.
back in Dawn,
I'm
and
glad we're all so excited to head back along the Boneway.
yeah, I know, it's great. It's been a good trip when the Boneway seems not that bad anymore.
You know, I fundamentally disagree with you. I generally think the Boneway is terrible.
Can't be worse than that Red Adder dude. God damn.
That sounds like a challenge to the
It's a
seven.
challenge. Manakai's like slowly rubbing his hands together. Yes.
And then begins dragging like the snake tokens over on
Tina, is he
Hey,
rubbing his
Will,
hands together right
You
now?
know what
He's
happens
smiling.
if you
No,
get,
he's
if
not
you
rubbing
get,
his hands together right now.
We
Mini
Now
know.
he
boars.
is.
It's the mini boars. They're gonna come after us now.
They will find us. We know this
They
from
will
last session.
find-
They will find you, and they will kill you.
They spent a destiny point.
Snake destiny.
They've
That's
got
like
unlimited
what-
supply.
Destiny. Many snakes died to bring him this information. He's gonna act on that.
And so there we were, deciding to commit suicide, traveling along the Boneway again.
Woo!
Come on, let's set out.
And the fun hadn't even started yet.
All right, let's go on the Boneway, people.
Pretty much.
Right. How many days did you end up just hanging out?
Like
just
one,
one.
I think it was. To get over the hangover.
Halldamir Caladan waves at us from the walls of Winter's Respite.
What?
Aeron Caladan's like, I'm so glad my son is home.
What?
Dessem kills himself. I've recognized my incapability and have decided to sign over my legal rights.
I
see,
have disowned my firstborn son because he's clearly in the hands of the enemy. You're like, what? Hey, Ron, I love you. What?
If he did that,
That would solve a lot of problems.
I definitely see.
I actually don't think it would, because then Haley Caladan's like, he can't sign it over. He's incapable and unfit to rule.
Otway is making good decisions.
I see Dessem at the end, sometime during this campaign, actually thinking about killing himself. Yeah,
Right,
I
so
think it's
there
just
we
a
were,
thing.
traveling away from House
Yes. You have been gone to this day when you leave. You have been gone for a little over a moon. 5 days into the next one, as you begin to leave. Basically, it has been a long time since you've been home. Indeed. It is a day's travel to the river, where generally you would sort of gather up on water and supplies and such before actually entering the area known to people of the northern part of Westeros as the Bone Way.
Or the Stone Way, apparently.
Yeah, that is the Dornish name for it.
It's the official name, isn't it?
Yeah, the Dornish name for it is the Stone Way.
And I learned from Rosette.
There wasn't a whole lot of collaboration on creating maps in the last couple of 100 years, so it has different names. Yeah. And so you will take your leave.